So I'm gonna walk down here and shut off the inverter. I just filled the water. Yesterday it was really hot, and of course it's been hot every day, but it was my fault. I have two charge controllers, so 6 panels go on one charge controller, 6 panels go on the other charge controller. Well, yesterday I had one charge controller producing enough amps and volts. It was doing great. The other one wasn't at all. The volts were really low, which has never happened. So I realized today, so I'm going to shut off this inverter, that when I installed all these new wires, because I had a wire that overheated and melted, so I added a bunch of wires, that I laid this inverter down right here, and I thought that'd be a good place for it, but I don't know what I was thinking. I laid it right up against the charge controller, so you had the heat from the inverter plus the heat from the charge controller, and the charge controller got too hot. So today it's doing much better. We're at 14.5 volts or amps and 16 volts coming from the solar panels. That's perfect. So, and then this side, 15, 16 volts and 14 amps. Yep, it's about the same on both sides, so that's exactly the way it should be. So the heat from the inverter was too much for the charge controller. It's getting too hot, I guess. Now this charge controller looks identical to this charge controller, but this one's newer, believe it or not, and it has a fan in it. This one doesn't. So I just tried to scoot everything over today, try to give it as much room as possible, so hopefully that'll work. But it's bad enough with the solar panels, because when it gets over 75 degrees they start losing voltage anyways. The panels themselves do. So I was really losing a lot yesterday. But that one charge controller still got the batteries charged up. It just took a lot longer. And I'm letting the grass grow out. It rained yesterday a little bit for half hour, but I'm letting it grow out because it's dying. It's so dry. And last year I did this. I cut it about this time, and it just became a dust bowl around here. So I'd rather have the long grass, I think, than all that dust. But this is the old chicken coop area. The rest of it doesn't look too bad. It's just this chicken coop area that looks bad. That's because all that feed, you feed the chickens. They spilt seeds and they planted themselves, and the first chance they got to grow, it's growing. So I'm waiting on 3 customers today, and I can have this feeling that all 3 of them aren't going to show up. And all 3 of them have this similar story, that they were in a hurry. So let's see, where do I want to start? I'll start with the first guy to ever contact me. So back in May, of the 3 I should say, back in May, this guy contacts me and says, hey, I just bought a lawnmower and it needs a new PTO clutch. No, that's not what he said. It needs a new clutch. He says the guy who owns it, I bought it from, said he already replaced the PTO. Well, that seemed a little strange to me, because PTO and clutch are the same thing. It's actually called a PTO clutch. So I explained that to him, and he says, oh, good, thanks for coming and getting back to me so quickly. I'm in a hurry to get this thing running, and it shows your professionalism that you got back with me so fast. Of course, he messaged me like at midnight, and I got back to him at 4:30. He says, I'll bring it over, I don't know, tonight or tomorrow, whatever it was. Okay. Well, 2 or 3 days passed. I messaged him again just to make sure that he was still bringing it. Yeah, I'm going to bring it. I'm not a legal driver, so the guy was supposed to pick it up for me, weaseled out of me or whatever he said. Okay. So yesterday, which was Sunday, he messaged me again. You going to be available tomorrow? I'm going to bring that lawnmower over. Well, I didn't know who this guy was. So I'm scrolling the old messages trying to figure out who he is. Yeah, I'll be here tomorrow. Okay, I'll be here tomorrow morning. Okay, well, it's almost 11 o'clock now. So I suspect he's not coming. And he even said, if something changes, I'll let you know. Well, something has changed. The morning's almost over, so you're going to tell me afternoon? I know I'm a little picky, but I've always thought that it's very important to keep your word. Especially when it comes to time. You know, people's time is valuable. And then, told you about this story. Got a Husqvarna leaf blower. I took a lawnmower. He had a lawnmower that had a transmission problem, so I took the lawnmower back to him, the riding mower. And he hands me this Husqvarna leaf blower. He says, hey, can you take a look at this? Okay, sure, no problem. I bring it back. It needs a new ignition coil. Well, the very next day, he calls me. I mean, it was pretty early, too. So, I mean, like, he thought I needed to get on this thing right away. What's wrong with that leaf blower? You going to be able to get it done quickly? Yeah. I said, I'm sorry I didn't call you back. I didn't realize you needed the information. I said, I ordered a new ignition coil, and I'm just waiting for it to arrive. Well, when it got here, the new ignition coil, which was an OEM ignition coil. So I didn't even buy aftermarket. I bought the expensive one. And it didn't work. So I had to return it and get a new one. Well, so 2 days later, so what are we talking, 3 days here? After he called and said how big of a hurry it was. I call him. And because I got the new ignition coil in, I call him. I said, well, and he didn't answer. I think what he tried to do was hang up the phone. But he didn't. He ended up answering the phone, but no one was speaking. I kept yelling, hello, trying to get their attention. Nothing. So I immediately call him back. I hang up, call back. And a female answers, says, yeah, he's busy. Oh, just give me the message, I'll let him know. So I left a message. So that was, I guess, Friday. Or Thursday. Maybe it was Friday. I don't know. So, of course, he didn't reply back that day. And that was at 9 a.m. because I was trying to get my calls done right at 9 a.m. So I call him again today, 9 a.m. So Saturday and Sundays went by. I call him again, 9 a.m. He doesn't answer the phone. Well, he does call me back. He says, I'll be over this morning. I'll be in town. I said, okay, all right. So the morning's almost over. He ain't going to be here. And then I got this pressure washer. And that dog is back. She's making noises, I think. Then I got that pressure washer, and again, he dropped it off like Thursday. And it says, I need you to get this done in a hurry. I got some construction going on, and I need to clean off the concrete that they're doing this on. Well, okay, whatever. I don't know what that means, but he's obviously he needs it in a hurry. And he says, I need it by Monday. Okay, no problem. So that was Thursday. I take it over to the patio area, and it's got bad gas in it. So I drain the gas out. I clean the carburetor, take the carburetor off, clean the carburetor. I'm not even sure I did that. I can't. There was something else I did, but I can't remember what it was. Anyway, maybe I did flush the carburetor. Anyway, so I call him back that day because he said he's in a hurry. Yeah. I said I'll pick it up Monday. Oh, okay. I thought you meant that you needed it by Monday. So I guess he just needs it Monday. So that was the deadline. So here it is Monday, and it's getting hot. I can't imagine anybody pressure washing a patio in this temperature. So I suspect he's not going to show up either. So that's 3 for 3. You know, you got all this money laying down in parts and labor, and parts specifically. And they just like, okay, no big deal. That's your problem. And they're all in a hurry until you're done. So now on this mower, I have told you I was going to donate this mower. I think it runs. I mean, I'm hoping it runs without a lot of cost. So I've said this before. It had a pack rat in here, and it chewed all the wires off. I mean, just everywhere. Every wire somewhere has been chewed. I was going to have to get a new wire harness. And that was going to be, after everything was said and done, about $500. Well, the mower is only worth $500. It's an 05, I think. It's an old mower. Looks nice. I mean, it's spotless. Been well maintained. So, somebody gave me a John Deere a while back. and it's in bad shape. There's nothing good on it. So I made a video. I pulled it over here in the woods. It's got some good tires, I should say. The mower deck's in pretty good shape. But it also had a wiring harness that was similar to this one. Not exact. There are some key differences to it, but I'm going to be able to make it work. And the reason I'm going to be able to make it work is because the ignition, it was a 6-pin ignition. So that means that it's going to work similar. But there are some key differences. One has, let's see, this one, I can't remember, but the one thing I'm sure of is different is the seat switch. This one has these old style seat switches, whereas this new one has this kind of seat switch. Oh, and that was the other thing. The reverse is different. In order to go reverse, you had to push this button down on the John Deere, whereas on this one, the reverse is hooked up to the transmission. And yeah, so I'll just have to put this on, or I can just wire it together, either way, and then I'll be able to bypass that reverse. I mean, some of these switches just are kind of silly. I never liked the reverse switch anyways. And a lot of times these keys have a position where you can bypass the reverse anyways. So there'll be some minor differences. I'll have to wire some stuff up, like the ignition coil on that one was in the front, but the ignition coil, or ignition solenoid, excuse me, on this one is back here in the back, so I'll have to extend the wires out to make it reach. But I did get it off. This is the, I should have showed you, that's the John Deere wire harness. Seat switch, transmission switch. So I finally got that off. That's good. And what else is going on? Oh, there's the dog. She showed up. Say hi to the world. She only shows up every other day. She wasn't here yesterday. And the thing is she stayed really late 2 days ago. So I figured maybe she'd even spend the night. She started walking down the road earlier in the day and looked back, and you could tell she was really trying to think it through, whether she wanted to go back to wherever she comes from or stay here. Well, she came back and laid right there in that area, that general area right there, until well, I was in bed. And Carolyn says she heard some dogs barking down the hill, and she thinks that's when she left. So again, she didn't show up yesterday, but she's here today. She ate, and now she's just going to sleep. I mean, she's getting used to us. She was a little skittish this morning for some reason. A horsefly bit her, and she ran off, but then come back and calm down. So, I don't know. I don't really want her here. I mean, we just don't have the room for her. I've said that in previous videos. Well, we'll just keep feeding her. Oh, and I forgot about this one. This one's got a perfectly good engine on it. The engine's great, but the pump's out, so it was going to be about $200 to replace that pump. So she said, just scrap it. So I'll be able to use this engine just to test things on. I don't know, at least that's my thinking with Honda engines. You know, if they got a bad ignition coil, I can put it on here and see if it works on this one, you know, that kind of stuff. But I don't know if I'll ever be able to use the engine. Somebody's gonna say, yeah, put it on push more or something. Sometimes these shafts don't line up correctly, so yeah, you got to be careful trying to do all that, because I mean, like the muffler, you know, just everything's gonna be a little goofy. It'd be hard to just change out. I mean, you could do it, I guess, but a lot of people don't. So I think I'm gonna jump off of here. So if you'll click this up next box, take you to a video over my other channel. Really appreciate it if you go check it out. So I hope I can inspire you not to have to deal with people, so you can live your dreams. Thanks for watching.